What happens when the most powerful man in a company hides in plain sight? What happens when the only person who shows him genuine respect is the one society often overlooks? This is a story about humility, hidden truths, and the unexpected bonds that form when we least expect them. A tale where the undercover executive and the custodian cross paths, and the outcome will leave you stunned. Let's dive in. The morning sun filtered through the tall windows of Crestline Industries, casting long shadows across the polished floors. Employees hurried to their desks, their polished shoes clicking against the marble. Among them was a man who didn't stand out. His name was Adrian Cole. He wore a simple button-up shirt, slacks, and a pair of worn-out loafers. His hair was neatly combed, but his face was unremarkable, the kind of face you forget in a crowd. Adrian wasn't just another employee. He was the CEO of Crestline Industries, one of the most successful companies in the country. But for the next month, he had decided to go undercover. He wanted to see how his company truly operated, to understand the struggles of his employees, and to find out if the values he preached from his corner office were actually being practiced on the ground. No one recognized him. Not the receptionist, not the managers, not even the security guards. To everyone, he was just Adrian, the new guy in the marketing department. In the same building, there was a man named Walter Finch. Walter was a custodian, the man who kept the floors shining and the trash bins empty. He was in his late 50s, with a kind face and a slight limp from an old injury. Walter had worked at Crestline for over 20 years. He knew every corner of the building, every employee's routine, and even their quirks. Walter was a quiet man, but he noticed things. He noticed how Adrian always arrived early, how he stayed late, and how he treated everyone with respect. Something rare in a place where egos often clashed. Walter also noticed how Adrian's eyes would sometimes linger on the company's mission statement plastered on the walls. One evening, as Adrian sat alone in the break room, staring at his coffee, Walter walked in. "Long day?" Walter asked, his voice warm and gravelly. Adrian looked up and smiled. "Yeah, just trying to figure things out." Walter nodded, leaning on his mop. "You're new here, right?" "Marketing." "Yeah, just started a couple of weeks ago." Walter studied him for a moment. "You're different. I can tell. Most people here, they're too busy chasing something. But you seem like you're searching for something." Adrian raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Walter shrugged. "Just a feeling. You got a good heart. Don't let this place change that." Over the next few weeks, Adrian and Walter developed an unlikely friendship. They'd talk during breaks, sharing stories about their lives. Adrian learned that Walter had once dreamed of being a teacher, but had to give it up to support his family. Walter, in turn, sensed that Adrian carried a heavy burden, though he didn't know what it was. One day, as they sat together in the cafeteria, Adrian asked, "Walter, do you ever feel invisible here?" Walter chuckled softly. "Every day. But it's not about being seen, Adrian. It's about what you do when no one's watching. That's what defines you." Adrian thought about those words for a long time. One evening, as Adrian was leaving the office, he overheard a conversation between two senior managers. They were discussing layoffs. Hundreds of employees, including Walter, were going to lose their jobs. The reason? To cut costs and boost profits. Adrian's heart sank. He had always believed in putting people first, but here was his own company, ready to throw loyal employees like Walter under the bus. That night, Adrian couldn't sleep. He thought about Walter's words. It's about what you do when no one's watching. The next day, Adrian called an emergency meeting with the board of directors. He revealed his true identity and demanded that the layoffs be canceled. The board was shocked but agreed, fearing the backlash if the truth got out. When Adrian returned to work the next day, he found Walter waiting for him. "I knew it," Walter said, a knowing smile on his face. Adrian was stunned. "You knew?" Walter nodded. "I've been here long enough to recognize a man who's more than he seems. But I didn't say anything because I wanted to see what you do, and you didn't disappoint." Adrian felt a lump in his throat. "Walter, I'm sorry. I should have told you." Walter shook his head. "You didn't have to. Actions speak louder than words. And what you did, that's what true leadership looks like. The news of the canceled layoffs spread quickly, and morale at Crestline soared. Adrian decided to make Walter the head of a new department focused on employee well-being. Walter, with his years of experience and deep understanding of the company, was the perfect fit. As for Adrian, he learned a valuable lesson. True respect isn't about titles or power. It's about how you treat others, especially those who society often overlooks. And so, the undercover executive and the custodian became partners, working together to create a company where everyone felt valued. The outcome? It left everyone stunned. Sometimes, the most powerful lessons come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes, the person who respects you the most is the one you never saw coming. And sometimes, the truth has the power to change everything. What will you do when no one's watching?
That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.